Okay, Salmon. You can do this. You know a channel's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks when they finally upload a Let's Play video? This is Arthur's Quest Battle for the Kingdom by 3LV Games. It is a 2002 published game, I believe, and the publisher was ValueSoft, a subsidiary of THQ that they used for games that they didn't necessarily want their logo on, which concerns me, because basically everything THQ was putting out during the 2000s was like cheap, licensed movie tie-in games, which I grew up on, admittedly, so, you know, THQ built a portion of my childhood, but I don't really know what to expect from a game that they didn't want their logo on. So, we're gonna find out what's going on with that. Let's get into this. So right off the bat, I've already got a few notes. I'm noticing that we've got like 6 of the exact same house model. Arthur, dark dwarves are attacking the town. We need your help. I don't know, you guys seem pretty well off. Like, you're like strangely clean for like a 6th century person. And you all got houses. I'm noticing you guys might be clones. That is a problem, actually. That might be it. Well, you're tall. Okay, yeah, we got... This is the exact same person? Exact same person? And we... Oh, so these are the dark dwarves, and they look... These are gnomes. These are gnomes. You are... Why couldn't we just say that it's a goblin attack? Why... What's up with this dark dwarf nonsense? Got goblins in funky little hats with kilts. And so this is a first-person action game. And you might go, okay, so it's like first-person RPG. This is kind of like Morrowind, and you're kind of right. It's like Morrowind in that it is a first-person fantasy action game with a hit accuracy, where your attacks can just miss. And I don't know if you saw it, but one of the attacks I did on one of those goblins just didn't connect. And there's no feedback on whether or not you miss. It's just like, you'll do it, yeah, like that, exactly. You'll just do the attack and nothing will happen. If you see the red blood cloud, then you know the move connected. And it's like a roll under system. The system generates a random number under 80, I believe, and if it's under 80, then the move connects. And you do not improve that chance by actually fighting. So we had to kill those goblins in here, but after that, combat becomes a lot more optional. The dark dwarves are growing bolder and more aggressive. We were able to drive them back this time, but they will return. Arthur, you must seek out Merlin in the Cliffs of Thunderfall. Perhaps he can help us put an end to this threat. You may find this bow helpful on your journey. And then the final thing that he says, and then the screen like blacks out before I can even read it, is probably something like take care or something. Before you is a fairy. Fairies are friendly creatures who wish to aid you in your quest. Red fairies will replenish your health, and blue fairies will imbue you with magical powers that increase your effectiveness in combat. To interact with a fairy, simply stand near one, center it on your screen, and press the use key. Some fairies are hidden. Explore your environment thoroughly to find them all. You are flying oddly low. Oh. Okay, so... Fairies. Fairies are helpful, they give us upgrades. And I'll be real with you, there's a little trick to this. Usually when you interact with it, it'll increase one of your stats by like 5. But there's a little tricksy here. So the little sparkles, when they leave, if I interact with the sparkles, they'll do it again. So I'm just gonna get this up to, I'm gonna get an attack up to 20. There we go. So now my attack's up at 20, and I'm actually gonna quick save, just because whenever you die, it'll make you load a save, so if you forgot to save your game at all while you were playing, it'll just boot you back to the first level. There are no checkpoints. There's no autosave. Remember to quick save. And you can block. Blocking is also RNG. So that's always good. I love games with RNG for something that really should be like entirely based on your skill. You should just double down and have it like, you know what Fallout, the 3D Fallout games were really missing? The ability for you to just, like, your bullet to just not connect with people even though you totally shot them. It works for the classic Fallout games. Would not work so well in New Vegas. I feel like if New Vegas, if you could just shoot someone with a revolver and them just, like, not react at all, people would not like New Vegas nearly as much. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, look. You can just jump over these guys, by the way. There's nothing preventing you from jumping over them. In fact, there is nothing preventing you from just running away from them, because Arthur, we're playing as Arthur, I guess, is just fast enough that he can just run past these goblins without them ever catching up. So long as you keep moving. And so in certain stages, whenever when I'm playing this, I'll just run through and I'll just hold down the block button. Because the odds of them actually connecting are still pretty good that you can just block and run. We got a bow now. Let's try the bow out. Bow's working right now. That might change. Oh. Is it happening? No, no. Bow's still working. We'll most likely get to see what happens when the bow stops working. The bow is basically just like a long-distance sword. Seems about as effective, too. It'll take about like 5 arrows or whatnot to put down a single enemy. I used to have like 40 and now I'm down to like 15. So not great. Not great, but we will get some theoretically better arrows later. This game really likes to just put a whole bunch of... These areas are really big and wide open, and then you'll have just like 5 or so enemies just kind of randomly strewn about it that you can just run past. Then you can just drive by, press the E button on a fairy to just get the pickup from them. You can do the sparkle trick with the red fairies too, so if you're at like really low health, you can just keep interacting with the sparkles until your health is full. And that teeters on the edge of me not being sure if that's like an actual exploit that they planned for, or if it's just like, oops, the fairy doesn't actually like despawn or have a flag that toggles your ability to interact with it once it's been used. So it would be like if a medkit, you found a medkit on the ground in a game that like gave you back 5 health whenever you interacted with it, and it started to fade away, but while it was still fading away, you could still just mash the E key. Oh my goodness, I forgot that the music in this game will just loop, but it's like a really hard loop, where it just straight up hits... That is not how you build music loops in games. I know that certain games will use like music loops, or like it'll reach a certain point in the track and then start looping that bit of the music. You can't just have a hard loop like that. Especially when this music is so not appropriate. Look at that, conga line of goblins. What we are doing right now is not nearly epic enough to warrant this. I mean, I guess I am running away from a giant army of goblins, but... I think that right now, like, this game has friendly fire, so I think that a lot of them are more likely to kill their friends than me. One of those things. This game does not look good. And this is everything turned up to max. And apologies for the resolution. Not really a whole lot I can do about that. It's displaying in like what, 1280 by 960. It's a 4:3. It's actually stretched out across my screen and it's 16:9, but it records in 4:3, which is really weird. This is the first time I've dealt with a game that actually does that. So it's not an artistic thing, that's just how it is. No, this is Zack Snyder's Arthur's Quest. What's up, buddy? Hail, lad! It's good to see a friendly face so far from home. You can blame the forest giants for this wreckage. It's barely a wreck. This seems like something that would just happen naturally over time. Seek out the Knee-High clan. I'm sure they'll help you where they can, and be safe, lad. I could jump this. I could jump this so easily. But the game just doesn't want me to, because I know that, like, right down there is, like, a major story thing, so the game wants me to go the long way around. This game would actually be about, like, 10 minutes if I could just go across this bridge. And there is actually no reason that I can't just ford the river. We will see in just a moment. Like, this game's got some weird things about invisible walls and how to apply them. They are highly questionable. And I feel like I am doing... I mean, I'm sure that there are worse LPs out there, but especially since I just booted this up and I was like, fuck it. Arthur's Quest, let's go. Okay, bow's still working. I do really want to show people... Where did you guys come from? I do want to show y'all what happens when the bow decides that it's just had enough. Also, the trees have collision with my arrows specifically. Like, notice that you can just... They smack into the trees, but you can run through the trees. So the trees don't block your progress, but they will block your projectiles. I think that they'll also block enemy projectiles at least, so they've got that going for them. I'm just confused as to how it's like one way. Like, I feel like I can... Oh, I can't run through that stump. I would have figured I could. So here's the bridge, and you'd think that there maybe be invisible walls, but... Nope. I can just walk through it. I can actually even crouch and go under this. I'll start to drown because the water is like... Oh, that's not supposed to be like that. Oh no, that looks bad. I feel that's supposed to be like the shoreline, right? And it's invisible this way. Yeah, this is not how it's supposed to be. Uh-oh. But we can just go through the river. There's nothing that prevents me from going back and just running across that broken bridge, other than the fact the game doesn't want me to. Why not just make the bridge longer or something? Make it more precarious, more obviously like Arthur can't go this way. Other than, you can't because I said no. Come on, what are you gonna give me? And can I spam it? Ooh, defense. Okay, let's go and get ourselves 20 defense. I'm not gonna stand here for hours. It maxes out at 100, but I'm not gonna keep mashing it because that's just... It's boring. Pretty sure that the music jingle like stops playing after like the 5th or 4th time. Like the game's had enough of it. They're like, no more magic for you. So let's go with 20. Ooh, fairies. What's up? What are you guys doing? Oh, they're attacking me. So fairies want to help you on your quest, except for these fairies, which I guess, you know, they saw the writing on the wall and they're like, you know what? Arthur is a cringe nene baby, and we want to side with Morgan Le Fay. So the game's... does that count as the game? Oh, it's happening. The bow has ceased working. This is not missing, it's just eating my bows. Or eating my arrows. Yes, my bow fires smaller bows. I am trying to shoot the bow, and the arrow will just leave, and just is gone forever. If you miss, if you actually fire a projectile and miss, you can pick the arrow back up. If it gets eaten like this, then it's just gone. That's a really good design choice, you know. Frankly, I think we can call it now JRPG of 2020. Well, there's no fishing. There's no fishing, there's no cooking, so it's not really a JRPG. But this blows whatever Bethesda's been making out of the water. Mushrooms. Am I crazy for thinking that these mushrooms kind of clash with the art style? I think it's just how vibrantly colorful they are. Also, they make metal sounds when I hit them. Ah! I can walk through them, though. This seems like somewhere where you'd put a secret, like right here in this crevice. But I guess the game designers were like, nah, let's just have a random closet in the forest. Oh well. This forest is just a vertical wall of flat tree PNGs. Infinitely looping. And there's like weird Z fighting with like these bushes. It'll happen with the trees too sometimes. You'll be able to see through the body of a tree so you can see the forest behind it. You are literally seeing the forest for the trees, or through the trees, rather. Which, that's a new one. I don't think I've ever actually seen that in the game. I guess this is what happens when you try and make, like, budget Morrowind in Lithtech. This is... I was talking about... have I mentioned that? This is a built-in Lithtech. Lithtech Talon. It's a good sign when I can't even remember if I've talked about the engine in which this game is built in. This is the same engine that, like, was used for Shogo Mobile Armor Division. And... which I'm not sure... I think I might have that. I might have Shogo. I've never played Shogo, but I might actually have a copy of that. You know, like and subscribe if you want to see me play Shogo Mobile Armor Division. I don't know why that was one of the running jokes that I kept imagining. It would just be, like and subscribe for, like, complete inane bullshit. Like and subscribe if you hate Salmon TV, something like that. Buddy, could you stop? You got a cool axe, though. I will say the weapon models are not bad, at least for the enemies. I think one of the maces looks kind of like two flat PNGs overlapping over each other, which that's a little budget, but the axes look good. The actual model work is not terrible. I like the design for the Dark Dwarves, I'm just confused as to why they're called Dark Dwarves. And this looks like it's platforming. It is not. Also, you can just walk over these, you just float. Like, it just... look. Oh, okay. Which leads me to believe that Arthur, at least when he's in motion, is, like, wider than he looks. Like, than you think. It's like how I can't actually run into the forest wall. I'm kind of, like, shouldering into it. It's almost like Arthur's body protrudes out, like, 2 feet more than you'd think. Oh! Z fighting on the trees. I'm intrigued by this additional wall of forest behind the initial tree wall, because I don't know what is the intended effect, because it feels like this is just like a cardboard cutout of trees in front of a hedge maze. Oh shit, this is a boss fight. I mean, there's actually no reason I can't just run past this guy, but I'm gonna kill him because why not? There you go. There is a spider over here. Oh, I picked up a damage fairy. When did that happen? The damage fairies only give you 2, which is unfortunate. Kind of wish that they gave me more than that. I'm gonna up myself up to 30 defense. So defense does not negate damage. Defense only, it raises the possibility that enemy attacks won't connect. This invisible wall protrudes weirdly far. You can't hit them, though. I'm sad, I can't... There's no metallic sparks whenever I hit those, but if I hit, like, trees... Trees are made of metal. Arthur lives in some sort of freaky Truman Show situation. That would actually explain it. This is a very loose adaptation of the Arthurian legend by way of some sort of, like, Truman Show orchestrated world. And that is just a World of Warcraft dwarf. That's just a bunch of World of Warcraft dwarfs. They're all clones! Hail, ye light dweller, and welcome to the Nehi's humble camp! Oh my god, that voice is bad. Looking to pass through our mines, are ye? I'm afraid it won't be easy, lad. A pack of dark dwarves has overrun the mine and taken some of our brothers prisoner. Filthy creatures, them dark dwarves, and no love of fine mead, neither. They no deserve to be called dwarves, if ye ask me. Yeah, they're fucking gnomes. If you can clear them filthy gem thieves out, we'd look a mighty bit favorable on ya. Am I gonna wear the dwarves? Free our brothers and rid the minds of those filthy dwarves, lad. We'll see to it that you can pass the rest of the way safely. There might even be some finely crafted steel in it for you, if you're quick about it. Don't just stand there, lad. Move your arse. I apologize for that. That voice is terrible. Okay, so we've got our first quest. I don't know how we got in here. I don't understand. Welcome to our mine, which is a one-way tunnel of stone. Unless there was a cave-in. Imagine if the game had thought to, like, convey that sort of thing. It'd almost be like a game that's got, like, a narrative structure. Any sort of feeling of progression, instead of just, like, you are in a mine now. Well, I'm gonna quick save. And I think we will pick up from here and help the dwarves with their little goblin problem next time. This is very experimental. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did not, well, then that's completely understandable. This is Salmon TV, and until next time, stay hydrated. More importantly, stay fishy. Alright, have a good one.